Howdy folks, let's do a little video on how to spall up Tongue River Chert or Porcellanite. Now this material was deposited as this is basically a silicified clay stone that's been baked, or silt stone that's been baked through natural processes. So you'll notice on this material, you'll see a lot of banding or layering. This is consistent with the deposition of the sediments a long time ago when it was first formed. Now, because it's been silicified to some extent and baked into like a porcelain-like material, like glass almost, you can spall and flake across the layers, perpendicular to the layering. Sometimes it works great. Usually it doesn't work as good. It works, like this spall right here ran across the layers for 2-3 inches. But what happens, the farther that flake has to travel through those layers, you'll tend to start getting some ripples, and you know, this can be problematic. It may not be problematic. In some cases it's even kind of cool looking, but what I've found is you can usually spall it really well going parallel to the layers. This stuff comes out of the ground or out of these outcrops, and it wants to break up in these tabs, okay, at perpendicular angles to the depositional layers, to the bands. So it makes these nice tabs, and there's usually some pretty good faces that will allow you to spall parallel to those layers. And when you spall parallel to the layers, you get much better, cleaner, longer spalls, and that flake feathers out more, and you get a nice even smooth surface both on the spall that comes off and the flake scar that's left, setting you up for your next flake or spall to come off. So I'm going to just do a couple of these and give you some examples of how I typically spall this stuff up with really good results. Okay, this is looking like it's going to be you get some red patina on the outside, and there's some red up in this corner here, and we've got this darker gray, kind of a banded gray material. But we're going to spall this up, and I'm not sure which face I'm going to work off of, but we're going to go through it, and I'll show you how these things work. This is a really fun material to spall too. I was working on breaking up some obsidian yesterday, and I've gotten kind of spoiled on this stuff, so I was having a hard time with the obsidian. All rocks are not created equal when it comes to how to spall them. That is a fact. I use a big fat copper lead-filled bopper from, this is one of Richard White's tools. This thing works really well on this stuff. So I got a nice dished face here with a nice platform angle, and my layers are going parallel to the floor. That's how I want it. So I'm going to spall off from this face first. Now there's some crud layer here. I don't know what's going to happen as I take these off, but usually if I have a crusty crud layer like this, I end up having to clean that surface up by taking spalls off. Sometimes you get good spalls from it, sometimes you don't. Hopefully we will, but once you get past that, you start getting into the good stuff. Alright, so that shattered kind of the whole rock. So there's probably some freeze cracks already in here. You can see, okay, so I hit here, and there's my spall, my flake removal scar right here. So this is the spall, but this crack shot all the way up here. So there was probably already some freeze cracking in here, which is not uncommon with this stuff, or any rocks really. Get in the higher latitudes, So this is the spall I was going for, and it looks like this has some bioturbation. So back when this was mud, little worms and shit were crawling around in here, which is too bad because that's kind of a cool piece, but you can see the surface of the flake. It's really not conducive to napping. So there's a lot of irregularity and inclusions in here that make it really not that great. Yeah, lots of worm activity in there. Don't always see that, sometimes you do. Now, if you ever buy any of this stuff from me and this happens, let me know, because I'll replace this, no charge to you. You can get these pieces, and I can take some tests. I've taken some flakes off of this, and the flakes were good. So, you know, I try to just take some test flakes off a piece before I send it out to anybody, so it can look like it's good. And then once you get to cranking down on it, you realize that it's got some issues with it. So if I ever send you anything and this happens to it, keep this, good luck with it, and just let me know, and we'll get that taken care of for you. All right, so I'm gonna switch over to this side. Let me go from the top now and see, because I had some good flakes here. Let's see what happens to that one, or if the whole thing just blows up on me. So the red, so I don't sell as much as the red, really. I try to avoid. I'll throw a couple pieces in there, but when it comes to looking great but not being great, the red is really, that's a common issue with it. The gray, man, that's flaking, like, that's a real smooth surface. That's good, that's what you want. And this darker gray is typically pretty good. Same on this surface. This is good material all in here. This is just crap. So I'm just gonna take the red off. But we'll do that later. Let's do another piece. So I want to show you some good examples. Not bad examples. Here's a little one. That has a freeze crack up on the top, but I'll try and knock a spall off this bottom piece for you. Again, so I can tell the banding or the layering, it runs this way, right, parallel to the floor. So when I spall this, I want to go parallel with them. So I'm looking for that face. It's going to give me a good platform. And this face right here looks like it's going to give me a pretty good platform for it. You know what? Hang on just a second. Give me just a second. I'm going to get set up with something. All right. I added some padding. So when I'm spalling, I add this extra layer of padding. If I'm just napping, I take this out. I don't use that. But the added stiffness and support and protection really helps me a lot. All right, so let's give this one a whack. This looks like it's going to be really good other than this crack, which I don't know how far through it's going to go. It actually looks like it dissects from one corner to the other, so this one may blow out too, which is unfortunate because this looks like a really nice piece. Okay. Pretty good, actually. So, right. Strike here. I have the rock, I don't know, sitting at about an angle like that. Okay, so the layers are going this way, maybe 45. And I hit straight down with my billet at a certain angle. I've just learned to hold it. But there you go. That's pretty good. It's a good flake. And that's what you want. There's some goop here. Again, got some cracking issues and stuff. A good pile. And let's get another one. That's good, but that's kind of small. See a lot of cracks in this one. Sometimes I find the most beautiful pieces, but they're just ate up with cracks. It sucks. Yeah, there we go. It's got a good face there. And we can take the top off. All right, let's work with this one. So, crusty top, that's got to go. Pretty decent bottom, that's not bad, but that's going to end up going too. Layering parallel with the floor, and I'm going to start on probably this face here, although I may just take this cap off since I got this lip here. Let's do that first. Let's see what happens if we do that. That's a bad layer, and you can tell just by looking at it. It's pretty crusty. But you can tell the difference between the layers. It's dirty up here, and then it gets real clean in here. So that's how you can tell this shade of gray, this kind of metallic, shiny gray. It's always kind of crummy, so I always get that off first. And it comes off pretty easy. It skins off like hornstone. Come on now, the outside. Vortex, thank you. Let's keep taking it off. See how it just crumbles apart? But you can see where the flake initiates. It's you're getting good, smooth flake travel. Okay, I'm going to keep working this face because I'm going to try and scoop out above this black line here. Take that whole layer off if I can. Hit it high. I didn't hit it. Come over to the other side. So I got about half of this crusty layer off. Okay, coming from this face. This is like a little cap here, so I'm going to come in from this face now. Take it off from there. It's just about all gone. We're getting into the good stuff now. So that pure, clean looking gray, and you can still see some of the banding in there. That's actually from the different layers. That's not a difference in color. It's just the layering. Now the rest of this looks like it's some pretty solid material. Knock another couple flakes off of it. Get another one. Hit it here, and that's our flake that came off. And again, that's just the different layering. There's a little bit of rippling in there, but what I've found is once you start working these spalls down, and you're shooting smaller flakes, not as much energy is traveling through there, this stuff starts going away and it cleans up pretty well. Doesn't typically cause a lot of problems with napping, but it can be if you're a beginner or just getting started. Those used to cause me a lot of problems, but typically you can just nap right through that stuff. This is really good stone. Take off the other side here. Would have been a good one too. I hit it a little too hard. Probably the support wasn't right, and I ended up breaking it in half. Okay, but still a couple pretty good flakes. And we'll save this tab for the flat rate boxes. Now this one, this has independent layers of good material, and then like this black line here, that's just a crust layer is what it is. That's no good. So you're gonna have delamination between the top piece and the bottom piece, and that's not a problem. If you hit these things right, you can usually just separate the two cleanly. Just knock this whole top piece right off, and then you'll have two tabs. And again, the layering's parallel with the floor. So as I start working this, I wonder if I can take that off. Should we try? It's a little bit of a steep angle, but let's see if we can trick shot that one. No, didn't want to do it. That right there, those are razor sharp. This stuff, man, that's what I like and dislike about this material. That's primo rock in here, and that stuff, when you get those thin flakes, it's like obsidian, man. Except it's almost like micro serrated, or micro serrated. Oh, they'll cut you good. That's a good piece. Let's see, let me take one more. Okay, so angle, impact straight down. There's our flake. Kind of scoopy. This stuff likes to do that scoop, but that right there, that's a good arrowhead flake, and that'll nap really clean. Alright, so there's this side's a junk layer. I can tell it's real crusty and flaky in there. I'll hit this face and try and clean that layer off. See, I just pulverized it to dust. It just can't hold together with that impact. good. Now once I start bifacing this, the rest of this, it's a pretty thin layer, but the rest of this junk will come off. And inside here is really good stuff. That's a good flake. Alright, put that in the flat rate box pile. Alright, I'm at 20 minutes. I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to start a new video. So come on back for part 2. Thanks.